What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another predicted lineup video. It is Chelsea against Tottenham at Stamford Bridge. Massive game, first massive game of the season, coming so early, and it's going to be an interesting battle. We obviously know what happened against Chelsea over the past couple of years, and it's time to right those wrongs this weekend. And I think the Spurs fan base coming into this one a little bit more confident than we did last season, so that's good to hear. The press conferences have been done, and what is the team news?
Yeah, so Ollie Skip remains out. Conte alluding that he could be out for another couple weeks with his foot injury, although we're hearing could be slightly longer, but hopefully he'll be back as soon as possible. With Clement Longley, Conte saying he's suffering with a little problem, and he's specifically saying it's more fatigue, and he's a bit tired in his adductor, so he's not going to be available for the weekend, but it's not too serious, and hopefully he'll be back for the Wolves game. So 2 players missing, but other than that, a clean bill of health.
Yeah, and it's good to hear Conte was saying it's more of a precaution than anything, so hopefully we can see him sooner rather than later. But look, let's get into the lineup. We're going for a 3-4-3 formation as per usual, and let's start off with Hugo Lloris in goal.
Yeah, so obviously our captain was fairly untested last week, although when called upon, did make some important saves from Aribo. And hopefully, look, he's probably going to be more tested in this game, but hopefully he stands strong. I think set pieces is going to be crucial because Chelsea are a big team, especially if you look at that back line. Some big defenders there. So hopefully we have the organisation right, but Lloris could be an important player in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's Lloris in goal. Right wing back, we're going to stick with Emerson, seeing as he had such a strong game last week against Southampton. I'm expecting more of the same, especially as his best performances for us have come against the bigger sides as of Liverpool and Man City.
Yeah, he is going to have Ben Chilwell to contend with and Raheem Sterling buzzing around that kind of area as well. So it's going to be a tough afternoon for Emerson, but we know he has the physicality to deal with it. As you say, his best performances always come in those big games when we do more defending, and he's a pretty competent defender. So do I back him to make the difference in the final third in this game? I'm not 100% sure, but I think defensively he's going to be strong, and as long as he is that, we have the forward players to punish them. So that's most importantly.
Yeah, we're going to need him to be as solid as ever in this game. And you know, next to him, we're going to put Cuti Romero, obviously, and he's going to have his work cut out for him, isn't he, in this game?
Yeah, but he's also going to have an important role, I suspect, in on the ball moving forward. I think Romero, hopefully he'll have the confidence, which we know he will, to kind of move forward with the ball even against better opposition into the space, into the final third, and he's going to need that to create overloads.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you know, he's going to have to have his work, as what you say, creating overloads going forward, but also backing up for Emerson as well on the right hand side with the overload that he's going to be having to contend with. So it's going to be definitely a busy day for Cuti Romero, let's say that anyway. Next to him is going to be Eric Dyer, and you know, everyone knows what Eric Dyer brings, and I think he's going to be super important for us at both areas of the pitch, especially, you know, attacking set pieces as well, which we're going to need to be doing against this Chelsea side. Yeah,
and he's going to have Kai Havertz to contend with, and I do back him in a one-on-one duel to deal with him. It's just whether Havertz's clever movement will put a Dyer off, and that could leave space for the likes of Raheem Sterling to exploit. And we all know that Sterling thrives off that space. It's a lot is gonna rely on how we deal with Havertz, and hopefully Dyer and Conte together will have a plan what to do in each situation, which I'm sure they will. Dyer is obviously such an important player for us, so let's see what the situation is on Sunday.
Yeah, and there's also the importance of Eric Dyer of relieving that pressure with his long pings out to the wing backs that probably will be pushed up high as well. So those are going to have to be on point this weekend, that's for sure. And to make up that back three, we're going to stick with Ben Davies as well. Another really strong display for him in the first game of the season, and more of that, please.
Yeah, and I thought, obviously coming back from injury, didn't see any evidence of that. I thought it was a really solid performance from Davies, and he looked a threat as well when he was going forward. A bit like Romero, I think to create those overloads, he's going to be very, very important, and hopefully he can help out what's called Sesson on that side, which we'll get into in a minute. But hopefully when he gets forward, he can really contribute to the final third, and then hopefully that can allow us to gain some control in the game.
No spoilers, please, Sim. No spoilers. But no, on the left-hand side, left wing back, we are going for Ryan Sessegnon. It's an interesting one because a lot of fans calling for Ivan Perisic to start this game. But I think with the performance that Sessegnon put in the last game, you just can't take him out, in my opinion. Really strong showing defensively and offensively. And he's going to need to be even better than that, to contend with Chelsea this weekend.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if I think Conte, if I was him, I'd get Sessegnon running at James as much as possible, tire him out, make sure that you got James running up and down that line, and then with half an hour, 25 minutes to go, get Perisic on, and then maybe he could exploit some tired legs at that right wing back position, because I'm pretty sure Tuchel doesn't think one of Tuchel's reservations on Reece James is his stamina and suitability for playing that wing-back role, which is why I think sometimes he plays him right centre-back, because I think he doesn't quite see him have the stamina sometimes for that role. So I think that could be a source of joy if James is going to play 90 minutes. If you get Sessegnon running at him, tiring him out a bit, then Perisic might be able to exploit that in the latter part of the game.
Yeah, and it's interesting that in this heat as well, it's going to be very hard for both teams, to be fair, to go full pelt for 90 minutes. But I guess that's where the 5 subs come in this weekend as well. They're going to be super important this weekend, especially with the heat, aren't they?
Yep.
All right, let's run through that backline with you one more time, guys. It's Hugo Lloris in goal, Emerson right wing back, Sessegnon left wing back, and a back 3 of Romero, Dyer, and Ben Davis. Let's move on to the midfield now, and it's going to be quite a familiar midfield. And the first player we're going to talk about is Rodrigo Bentancur. And I always felt like in these kind of big games, he's always super important.
Yeah, and I think as well, to have that composure in the middle, he's going to be very, very important to our midfield. And he had a brilliant game against Southampton. I think he was our best midfielder. So I think he definitely starts in this game, although Basuma could definitely come on and make a difference if one of them is struggling.
Yeah, so Rodrigo Bentancur on one side and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg on the other side. And you were talking about the importance of Bentancur. What about the importance of Højbjerg?
Yeah, that all-action display from Højbjerg is going to be vital, especially winning the ball in the middle of the park, and especially with Jorginho looking to dictate things and Kante buzzing around. We're going to need Højbjerg to be at his absolute best, and I think he has been brilliant recently. And let's hope he can keep up that kind of form in. Let's hope we can keep up that kind of form in the game in Stamford Bridge.
No, yeah, absolutely, and Højbjerg always has high level of importance as well in these games. We all know the energy he does put into games, and we're going to need to see it again. So that's Højbjerg in the middle. Let's move on to the right-hand side of the attack, and we're going to talk about a player called Dejan Kulusevski, who's been super important, especially in the first game. I mean, he was an absolute monster, wasn't he? Yeah,
I thought he was exceptional, and I actually think he could be the player where we can get a lot of joy in this game. For me, I think that Kulusevski is actually like, obviously Kane and Son are our main threats, but Kulusevski is going under the radar as a massive threat. And I think if he could pull Koulibaly into the wide areas, I think Koulibaly potentially might not be comfortable or as comfortable in those kind of areas. And if we can get him isolated there, I can see Kulusevski getting some joy there, and that could really open up some spaces for us.
Yeah, and we've already seen in Serie A the past that Kulusevski has been able to get at Koulibaly before, so he's got previous for that. So looking forward to seeing that matchup. It's going to be a very interesting matchup. Let's talk about the striker and the left winger. We all know who it's going to be. It's going to be Harry Kane and Heung-min Son. And, both of them, people are saying they had a bit of an off day. I think Heung-min Son in the first game, was absolutely a thorn in Southampton's side, was just a bit rusty in front of goal. Harry Kane did have a bit of a quiet game, but I think he still provided positively through the team with his dropping back and linking up play and stuff like that. But I do expect that these two probably need to step up their level a bit from that first game.
Well, they're going to definitely have the focus on them, aren't they? Chelsea are not stupid. they're going to have a plan for Kane and Son to try and nullify them. That's why you got to get the other players into the game. If you bring the other players into the game, they're going to have to take notice of them, and then all of a sudden Kane and Son, the space could open up for him. I think Son is going to be vital with his pace running in behind of an aging back line in Chelsea. If he can get the wrong side of them, they could be a lot of trouble there. And obviously Harry Kane, he's going to be vital in terms of just trying to take the play and gain some control in this game and make sure he gets on the ball and spreading the passes out to the wing backs and hopefully getting on the end of things as well. So both of them are going to be vitally important. And if they step up their performance from last week, I mean, Chelsea are going to be in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is our predicted lineup. Let's run through it with you guys one more time. So it's Hugo Lloris in goal, Emerson right wing back, and Sessegnon left wing back. A back three of Romero, Dyer, and Ben Davis. A middle two of Højbjerg and Bentancur, with Kane, Kulu, and Son up top. If this is the lineup, what's your prediction this weekend?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close game. I think Chelsea come into this game more confident than we believe, but Spurs rightfully have confidence as well that they can actually take the game to Chelsea, and we have pedigree in big fixtures recently under Conte. So I mean, and I don't think I've ever predicted a win at Stamford Bridge before, but I'm doing it this time. 2-1 Spurs.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you as well. I'm going for the same scoreline, 2-1 to Spurs. And I'm backing Kane and Sonny both to get on the score sheet this weekend as well, and kickstart their Premier League campaigns with a couple of goals. So I want to know your predicted lineup in the comment section below. I want to know your predicted score lines in the comment section below. Looking forward to making the trip to Stamford Bridge on Sunday. And as well, Danny Kiriakou and Marlon will be in the studio for you for the watch along this weekend. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.